Hi, this is Sally, and today I'm going to talk about psychosis. Now, around 3 in 100 people will experience psychosis at some point in their lives. And this doesn't only include people who have bipolar disorder, but it includes various other mental illnesses, and it can also include physical illnesses. Some physical illnesses and conditions can cause hallucinations and delusions. When I'm talking about psychosis in the context of bipolar disorder, I am talking about psychotic depression and psychotic mania. Now, for those who do experience psychosis, everyone will have a different story to tell, and everyone experiences it differently. And not everybody who has bipolar disorder will experience psychosis, however, some do. Now, I have experienced both psychotic depression and psychotic mania, but today I will be talking about psychotic mania. I have been psychotically manic twice. Both times I've ended up in hospital. The first time I was psychotically manic was the first time I had ever been psychotic, and I was having visual hallucinations, so I was seeing things that weren't really there. I was hallucinating atoms, and they looked like golden pinpricks in the sky. I was also hallucinating this ghost-like figure of a man that followed me around, and I thought he was my guardian angel. In the beginning, it was quite comforting having him there. The second time I was psychotically manic, I had visual hallucinations, but I also had auditory hallucinations too. So I was hearing things that other people couldn't hear and that weren't actually there. I was hallucinating people's auras around them, and I could hear this otherworldly female voice. She told me I could fly, amongst various other things. And in both cases, I was delusional, and I had grandiose delusions, and I thought I was a more evolved human being than the typical human being. And again, in both cases, the psychosis started off as quite wondrous, and I was feeling very euphoric. And it was like being in this wonderful dream that was just technicolor. But as the mania progressed and the faster things went, I became confused and I became paranoid, and I was restless and irritated and aggressive, and then I was really scared, and the hallucinations were terrifying. The first time I was psychotically manic, I locked myself in my wardrobe for a whole night. This was the night before I went into hospital, but I locked myself in the wardrobe because my guardian angel had turned really terrifying, and I was very, very scared of him. When I recovered from my first psychotic episode, I was initially reluctant to tell people about what had happened because my delusions and hallucinations had been quite full on, and I was worried about how people would react. But after a while, I thought, well, the general population don't have a very good understanding of psychosis, and that's because people don't discuss it. And this contributes to the stigma, and it was this stigma that kept me quiet in the first place. So I decided to tell people, and I thought, I'm going to share my experience because my hallucinations and delusions were a symptom of a chronic condition, and that chronic condition is bipolar disorder. And these symptoms had a physiological basis, just like any other illness. So I wanted to normalize this, and I did. I told family members, I told friends, I told people who I didn't know very well. I started talking about it in my presentations that I gave about mental illness, and everyone was really receptive. Nobody treated me differently. Nobody treated me as if I was someone who was scary or someone who was to be feared. No one discounted me or didn't did not take me seriously. Instead, I got genuine interest and genuine concern, and it opened up really good dialogue and really good discussion. So, finishing up, if you feel that you have experienced or that you are experiencing symptoms of psychosis, um, know that there's help out there and access that help to get healthy or to stay healthy. And psychosis can be treated. And most importantly, know that you aren't alone.